person implicitly before you engage in any of that. But I did like that both men and women have that rape fantasy. And I understand. Women, it's almost like reclaiming it, I think. Men, I think they are societally forced to be quote-unquote strong and quote-unquote masculine all the time. So it might be nice for them to think about giving up that control. I think that's what a lot of these boil down to, is anything you're not achieving in your daily life, it's fun to think about unleashing that part of your personality with a partner you trust. It's a safe space. You don't have to worry about being judged. You don't have to worry about someone thinking of you differently or treating you differently based on that fantasy. All right, we're getting into some weird stuff. These are unusual kinks or fetishes. Actually, some of these are paraphilic disorders. I'm not going to lie. Only less than 16% of those surveyed admitted to fantasizing about these things. So go ahead and take a full shot. You were taking sips before. Just take a shot if any of these turn you on. Either by fantasizing about them or in practice. We're not here to judge. So the first thing we're going to talk about is water sports. We're going to get deeper into these in later episodes, I'm sure. So we're just skimming over them now, but I will, if you're not familiar with what water sports is, it's peeing on someone or them peeing on you or urine play in general. Cross-dressing is also an unusual one. Forcing someone to have sex. So this isn't the rape fantasy. This is actually raping someone. That's why I said some of these are paraphilic disorders. Sexually abusing someone drunk, asleep, or unconscious. I know I'm actually watching the latest season of 13 Reasons Why on Netflix right now, so that's a big one, in the forefront of my mind right now. It's an excellent series if you've never watched it. Watching two men have sex. Being naked or partially naked in public. Sex with 3 or more men. And sex with a sex worker. So that means a stripper or a prostitute, escort, you know what I'm saying. And, we're very sex positive, or I say we, like there's more than just me in this room. Nope, this is all me. I'm a very sex positive person. If you want to have sex with a prostitute, that's all well and good. I am for that. I think it should be legal and safe. There are some European countries that are very, very progressive and smart, and I fully believe that their population is healthier for it, both mentally and physically. So I think we need to legalize that, but let's work on the weed first. Let's not split our focus. Okay. These are the rare ones. These are ones where you should probably just drink the whole bottle and go turn yourself in. Fewer than or less than 2.3% of the population surveyed admitted to these, and I'm actually surprised it's that high. I don't know exactly how the study was performed. I don't know if it was an anonymous questionnaire or if they were actually in front of the person. But if I liked these things, I would be, even I, being as open and boundaryless as I am, would have trouble admitting to these, I think. So there are only 2, and you've probably already guessed them. Sex with children, so pedophilia, or sex with animals, so bestiality. These are things where it's hard not to judge the person for even fantasizing about it. Nobody wants to think about either of these. If you do like thinking about these, you really should consider talking to someone about them before you act on them. There may be some cognitive behavioral therapy that you can go through to make sure that you don't act on these urges, as 1, they are illegal, and 2, beyond the scope of the law, they're just icky and wrong. And I'm not usually going to tell someone what's right and wrong. I don't think I'm off base here in saying that those are wrong things. So I did think it was interesting that incest wasn't mentioned in the study. If I were to venture a guess, I would want to say it was rare, but I've personally encountered a few sex partners who had that fantasy, so it's probably just uncommon or somewhere in between that and rare. And actually, I tried to search beyond this study and couldn't really find information about the prevalence of incest fantasies. So these are wanting to have sex with a family member. So a daughter, a son, a sister, a brother, etc. That also falls into the realm of icky. But if it's a fantasy, I mean, there's porn, there's incest porn on major porn sites. You're not going to find pedophilia or bestiality on major porn sites, but you will find incest porn. And God, I really, really hope they're actors, but sometimes I don't think they are. And that's fine for them. You know, as long as they're consenting adults, that's fine. I'm not going to venture anywhere near that. But I have met many, they're all men. I don't know what that has to do with anything, but in my experience, they've all been men. And they've all had either mommy fantasies or little sister fantasies. So take from that what you will. That is not a kink of mine, but I feel like it's more common than a lot of us want to believe. So I hope you all feel better about yourselves knowing you're not alone, or maybe you're just really depressed at the state of the world at this point. You should be nice and tipsy either way. I hope you've had a good time. We're going to get into some deeper, kind of more, juicy topics in the coming episodes, but I wanted to lay a good foundation so we're all on the same page. So to recap, a kink is just something outside of the norm that enhances your sex life. So it's what people are talking about when they say to spice up your love life. It's tying your partner up or blindfolding them or introducing a vibrator or, little stuff like that, which might not be little to you. Again, no judgment. But they're all kind of on the tame side. They don't have to be, though. You can also introduce, violet wands and blood play and things like that, but I'm sure we'll get into that in later episodes. But they're meant to enhance the experience for both you and your partner. They're not necessary for arousal or orgasm. A fetish is necessary. So you may joke around and say you have a foot fetish, etc. I personally cannot stand feet. I don't want to touch them. I don't want to see them. I don't want anyone touching mine. I'll never ask for a foot massage. So that's a good thing for, my partners. But if you say you have a foot fetish, that means you need to have feet involved in your sex play somewhere for you to get aroused or get off. Likely you just have a kink for feet. You just really enjoy them. They help you, get hard faster, get wet faster. It's usually men, so that's why I say they get hard faster first. But it's not going to be necessary to have feet involved for you to come every time. And then paraphilic disorder, well, those are the dangerous ones. Those are the ones where you want to rape or do other unsavory things to people. So there are major differences between these three. So just make sure you're using them right. Try to educate people who are using them wrong. If you're like me and you're pushy. Otherwise, you're going to be fine. It really truly doesn't matter to most people, but it matters to me. And this is my podcast. So that's what I wanted to talk about. All right. So you can email any comments or episode suggestions. Anything that makes anyone uncomfortable. Doesn't matter if you think there's nothing you can throw at me that I haven't already considered. You can't shock me. You can't offend me. Bring it on. Many have tried. All have failed. So you can email those suggestions to whatsyourpoisonshow@gmail.com. You can also contact me at facebook.com/whatsyourpoison.show. Poison Podcast on Instagram, and on Twitter, it's @poison_podcast. So definitely reach out and let me know what you think. Until next time, let your freak flags fly within reason. I'm looking at you, future true crime celebrities, and drink up. This has been What's Your Poison? I'm Moxie, and I'll be back next week with more booze and taboos.